The 22nd of July is another day with no flying by our units due to weather, so let me go straight to the summaries, and 441 tells us that the weather was unsuitable for flying today. Flight Lieutenant Moore completed his tour of operations and was posted to HQ ADGB for disposal, and that's Headquarters Air Defense of Great Britain, so he's going back to England and the fighters that are stationed there. Flight Lieutenant Smith reported from 83 GSU for flying duties. And that's it for 441. 442 tells us that it was cloudy overhead and muddy underfoot. All 4 squadrons released until noon. Most of the pilots slept in and missed a better than usual breakfast of beans, toast, jam, and coffee. Movies shown in the afternoon for pilots. Officers' mess meeting at 17:30, Flight Officer McDuff being elected to the committee. And that's one of the most officerly-like sentences I've ever run across. A delegation to be sent to England to arrange for extra missing. Steaks for 442 for supper. German aircraft drop leaflets telling the British not to die for Joe Stalin. And total flying hours nil. So yeah, interesting about the leaflets. That would have most likely been dropped at night just from German aircraft flying overhead. I'll find some examples and show some of those as I go here. And 443 gives us weather continuing cloudy with intermittent rain showers, very low ceiling and poor visibility. No flying carried out by the squadron during the day. Flying time nil. So as with yesterday, I'm left with nothing to describe when it comes to operations, so I located another photograph, and I wanted to see exactly where this photo was taken. It's one of a couple that I was looking at earlier that shows the destruction that was wrought upon Caen during this phase. And the one that I chose was taken from right here, and this is the Caen Castle. It's another William the Conqueror era structure dating back to around 1066, and I was able to nail down the exact location where it was taken from to this little ledge right here. So let me go ahead and get into the photo. And I always think it's fascinating to see, especially iconic photos like this, what the overall context is. So we see a couple of soldiers right there on the ledge. Now let me do away with the transparency, and this is just the 3D view that we get in Google Earth that isn't really intended for close-ups like this, but we see the Church of St. Pierre right there just across the street that lost its spire, and one source says that the spire was shot off by a 16-inch shell from HMS Rodney, that battleship that we saw earlier. I think it was earlier this month when some folks from 442 Squadron took a visit, but in this time there was a structure between here and the church that was not rebuilt. This structure to the left that took a lot of damage is no longer there, and the larger building just behind it, all the buildings up there to the right along the road, brand new. And as is the case with a lot of major cities, especially like Caen that was in the middle of a major battle, not much survived World War II. And then contrast this situation that we see in Caen to something like Bayeux that we just saw in some photographs earlier as a spot to go for a meal and to pick up souvenirs, practically untouched by the war. So I just find things like that interesting. So let me go ahead and wrap this up for the day, and we'll move on to the next day, which I think probably sees a couple of missions flown. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.